10 things I quit to reconnect with nature and myself. I quit sticking to a clock, man-made calendars and schedules. I let the sun, nature, and the weather to shape my routine and my day. I have built my life in a way where I don't have to adhere to man-imposed standards. I don't work for anyone. I am my own boss. I don't have an office job. I don't do the whole 9 to 5 rat race. And it was a conscious and deliberate choice. I did everything I could to escape that system. Nobody helped me. I don't have rich parents or a husband that just bought my way out of it. I worked very hard to get out of it, and it has been a main focus of my life for several years before I managed to do it. It was not an easy or fast process, but it was 100% worth it for me because I'm now free from that system. I live more in tune with nature. I wake up when the sun rises and my body feels well rested. I go to sleep when it gets darker and I start to feel tired, which changes with the seasons. I sleep and rest more in winter, and I'm more active and outgoing in the summertime, which is very natural for our bodies. I don't eat in a specific time. I eat when I feel hungry. I don't calculate or track my calories or follow a dietitian. I eat intuitively. I listen to my body for any cravings. Sometimes it is red berries. Sometimes it is green sour apples. Sometimes it is raw fish. I let nature and my body dictate my schedule and not my phone or laptop or just other people that created that system. On a similar note, and it might be controversial, and I'm not saying that you need to stop doing it. I'm just sharing what I have stopped doing. I stopped planning and organizing my life on my electronic devices. I used to have so many Excel sheets for different things. I would track everything, record it all on my laptop, on my phone, use Google Calendars, and all these systems. It was giving me an illusion of control and organization, and then I just decided to let go. And guess what? My life didn't fall apart. I'm not a mess. Our ancestors managed to live without it all just fine. I am a type of person where I don't have issues with self-discipline or laziness, so it works well for me, and it reduces time spent on my gadgets and the attention that I'm constantly given to it. I don't let people waste my time over the emails and messengers. I don't agree to have work calls unless it is absolutely necessary, which is surprisingly almost never. I rely more on my memory, and I train my memory by keeping it information in my head rather than a million digital lists for everything. I let go of the illusion of control because even if it looks all perfectly planned and organized in your calendar or your Google Sheets or whatever system and app you use, life is not going to squeeze into your perfect little system. It will just happen, and oftentimes in the most unexpected ways. So instead of trying to control my life and try to predict my life and feel anxious about it, I just experience it as it comes. I used to be a very type A personality that would plan everything and track everything, so letting it go was not easy, but it was giving me more anxiety and stress every time something was not going according to my plan. And now, as I'm more flexible and letting life take me to all the unexpected twists and turns, I'm a lot more relaxed, peaceful, and I enjoy life a lot more. Another thing I quit is I quit complaining about the weather. Whether it's cold or hot, dark or sunny, gloomy or rainy or windy, I embrace it all. I now love seeing and experience the changes of the weather. It is in fact very similar to us and our own moods. It is never constant. Sometimes it is pleasant, sometimes it is harsh. If you dress well and you quit criticizing nature for simply being, you can actually start enjoying any weather. Of course, I cannot spend a long time outside when it is pouring rain or extremely cold, but I still make it a point to go at least for a bit. It is actually fun for me now, and then it also means that it is the time to slow down, do something cozy at home. We're not meant to be productive all the time. Most animals slow down in winter. A lot of them go into hibernation. Only humans think that we need to be productive when There is blizzard outside. We're so silly to fight nature. Work with it, not against it. Mother Nature dictates what is going to happen that day, not us. We give ourselves way too much authority. We need to humble ourselves. I quit rushing the journey and skipping all the adventure along the way. Think about it. We are so trained to live our life getting from point A to point B in the fastest, cheapest, and most efficient way. So we build underground tunnels to get from one station to another without even seeing the view. We go from home to the office, from the office to the mall, from the mall to the gym, from the gym back home. Now, how many of you enjoy the journey of actually getting there? Not much to enjoy, right? Traffic, angry drivers, stinky public transport, being stuck in a plane in a tiny seat for hours, eating plastic food, and breathing the same compressed air. It's loud, it's dirty, and it's very unnatural. No wonder people are so stressed and agitated these days. We made the journey process miserable for ourselves. I make it a conscious decision not to rush from point A to point B, but to turn it into an adventure. When I can, I try to walk, taking in the scenery. And even if you live in a city, you can play a game, try to spot nature in your city. A tree, a bird, a sunset, light reflecting in the water. I promise you, when you start paying attention, suddenly you will see it everywhere. I quit buying plastic and synthetic materials as much as I can. In modern life, it is impossible to avoid plastic entirely. Pretty much everything comes in plastic these days. But I try, especially for the things that stay in my home for a long time, like furniture, decor, clothing, bedding. I try to buy wooden furniture, cotton bedding, linen and wool clothing instead of polyester, glass containers over plastic containers, real plants over fake decor, ceramic pots over plastic ones, leather boots over synthetic leather, which is very bad for the environment and our health, beeswax candles over paraffin candles, and so on. I do my best. I'm not perfect, but when I have options, my choice will always fall for natural materials. It makes me feel better living in my space, wearing my clothing, sleeping in my bed, and just using my day-to-day items. I love being surrounded by the elements. I quit scrolling and wasting my time online watching negative content, useless content, celebrity gossip, drama, fear-based news, anything that drains my energy, puts me in a state of fear, anger, and promotes overconsumption. If it doesn't bring value to my life, if it doesn't inspire me or teach me or make me feel at peace and ease, then I don't want it and I don't watch it. I'm only subscribed to people if I like their energy and the messages they share. I only interact with content that helps me and benefits me, that brings me joy. And when I feel that the online space becomes overbearing, I step away. I go out, recalibrate, reconnect with nature, recharge, find my peace, find my center, and when I'm ready, I come back. The internet and social media are neither good nor bad. It is a tool. It is how you use it. You can use it in a constructive way. It can be a very educational and inspiring place. It can also be a very toxic place. I very strictly monitor and filter out how I use social media, because what we absorb on a regular basis definitely has an impact on us, and it shapes us, it shapes our minds, it shapes our behaviors. I quit gaming. I used to play computer games and PlayStation games, especially when I was younger, and mostly mobile games as an adult, as a form of escapism. I would do it when I'm bored or to sort of calm my nervous system, because in a way it would numb my brain. But it can really suck you in. I realized that I'm a lot less in the present moment. I'm not paying attention to how my body feels, how my environment feels, or my emotional state. I decided that I want to feel life and experience it. Allow myself to have these turbulent moments without escaping into the game, but rather find sustainable ways to regulate my nervous system. Again, spending time outside, getting the fresh air, or taking a relaxing bath with lavender, listening to a soothing melody, making an herbal tea with chamomile and lemon balm, journaling, meditating, or talking to my loved ones. This way, instead of ignoring issues, I face and process it in a healthy way and support myself through it. Which leads me to my next point. I stopped buying conventional teas and drinks in the stores. In most cases, I make my own tea blends out of the herbs that I grow in my garden. I grow them from seeds, I harvest them at its peak, I dry them, and then store them in glass jars. The entire process makes me feel very connected to nature. I love that it is a very hands-on hobby where you get to observe and touch nature. So then enjoy it in the drink, knowing exactly what is in your cup. I make iced tea with it. I mix it with different jams to make sweet drinks when I want it. The more herbs and various fruits you grow, the more variety of drinks you can make. I highly encourage you to grow at least some herbs on your windowsills or on your balcony if you don't have a garden. It is such an easy way to connect with nature. I quit impressing and pleasing other people. When I look at people, I realize that most of them don't live the way I want to live. They look very unhappy and miserable chasing their dreams and goals, striving for that illusion of luxury, impressing each other with shiny new things, with status, with so-called success. I have no desire to climb any corporate ladder. I have no desire to buy the most expensive car or a designer bag. I don't care if people think I'm rich or poor, successful or a failure. I used to live in a big modern city, go to this elite membership gym, wearing that expensive clothing because I thought this is what successful life looks like. But I was miserable. It was such an artificial and stressful environment. I was so far away from nature. I was not in tune with my body, surrounded with people who were also participating in this rat race. And then it hit me, why am I even doing this? For whom? Because it was certainly not for me. And so I quit. I quit overstimulating my senses. I stopped using conventional artificial fragrances, perfume, and synthetic aroma candles, heavily scented soaps, shampoos, body creams, and all these personal hygiene items. I stopped using heavily scented washing detergents for my clothing and bedding. And you know what happened? My sense of smell improved so much. I can now smell things made by nature that are a lot more subtle and less concentrated. My own body smell is very sweet naturally because of my clean diet and all the herbs I'm drinking. Obviously not sweat, but clean skin without any extra aroma now has a subtle scent of clove and star anise. I stopped overstimulating myself with lots of artificial lights, especially in the evenings. I use very dim lights and it is never this bright overhead light. I often use candles to be the only source of light in the room, and it is actually very calm and peaceful. I dim the light on my phone and computer to the lowest setting when I'm using them in the evening. I like my technology. I don't want to quit it completely, but I do try to limit the overstimulation to my brain. Same goes with food. I am now so used to eating whole foods, minimally processed foods, homemade food from natural ingredients that I get from my own farm. Eating and drinking something packaged from the supermarket, it doesn't taste good anymore. It tastes very artificial, especially all these sweeteners, syrups, and processed oils and colorants. My brain doesn't register it as something edible anymore. I have no cravings for it anymore. All these practices make me feel a lot more connected to nature and myself, my own body, my own mind. It didn't happen overnight. It was a very slow and gradual process. Adopting new habits, paying attention to how I live, questioning things, and trying to find better path for myself. Now when I allow nature to be in charge and I listen to its guidance, I'm a lot more at peace. I feel a lot more in tune with it, and it makes me a better person. Thank you for taking time to watch this and allowing me to share my perspective. I would love to know what are the things that you quit to reconnect with nature. Let's chat about it in the comments.